it was crazy. You could really feel the excitement. And Rory would have been an amazing champion. I can promise you, I've missed that putt. Bryson hit one heck of a shot. Probably 1 out of every 50 times would you get that up and down.
Wow. Welcome to GolfTrekking, the essential podcast for the passionate golfer. I'm Ashley Husing, and I'll be your host as we explore the most innovative programs, facilities, and professionals shaping the future of golf. Hi guys, Ashley Husing here, your GolfTrekking with Ashley, and we're in the iconic Pinehurst Resort. I am joined by the general manager here, Ben Bridgers. Thank you so much for the time.
Yeah, thanks Ashley. I love that you're here.
I appreciate it. We're going to dive right into the U.S. Open. We're going to talk about Pinehurst. We're going to talk about destination golf. We're going to cover it all. So let's get right into it. We typically try to keep these timeless, but of course, in the wake of the U.S. Open, we have to touch on a couple of topics like Bryson, Rory, how the tournament went, the condition of the course now. So before we roll into that, though, we want to learn a little bit more about you.
Okay.
So if you could tell me how you got into golf and a little bit about your journey of how you landed here.
Sure. So I've been playing golf for, since I was about 5, so almost 35, 40 years. Just as a young man, my dad was a golfer and just loved to play, and so I had clubs in my hand since I was a little boy, and never really had a thought that I would be here or be in the golf business or anything, but it's just what was comfortable, right? So I grew up in a small town, Conway, North Carolina. My school was basically right beside the golf course, and so my mom worked at school, and so I was fortunate enough every day to be able to walk across the street and play golf.
Oh, wow.
And so started playing with my dad's friends growing up, just kind of learning the game. Maybe had some gambling, as a young man, so we started playing for a little bit of money and trying to get that competitive nature, and so was fortunate enough to do that. As I got a little bit older, I was a pretty decent junior player, and wanted to go to college, and so I went to a small Division II school called Barton College in Wilson, North Carolina, and that kind of kept me into the golf world. Had no idea what I wanted to do in regards to my life, but as I mentioned, it was just comfortable. So played there for 4 years. Really enjoyed the experience. We traveled all over the country playing in golf tournaments, and had some of the great memories in my life. So it was really cool. And then once I graduated from college, I didn't really know. I got a business degree and a human resource management degree, and so I didn't know what I wanted to do. But I had a friend that worked in the Outer Banks, North Carolina, and he said, "Why don't you come live with us? We'll play some golf and have some fun, go to the beach." And so started working at Kilmarnock Golf Club in the Outer Banks for 1 year, and then moved to Currituck where my buddy Mike was. And so we just kind of started working, and one thing led to the next. He ended up buying my home golf course, and so he's living back home, which was awesome, and still has it today. And then I became head pro at the Currituck Club in the Outer Banks, and so worked for Club Corps basically, and they had 2 clubs there, Nags Head Golf Links and the Currituck Club. So I worked either place for about 7 or 8 years, and my regional director of golf was up at Stonehenge, Jeff Shepard. He came to Pinehurst in 2012. And so he followed Jay Biggs, and who worked for Don Pageant in Firestone. So that kind of connection. I worked for Club Corps for 8 years, made some great friends there, and really just got the opportunity of a lifetime. So I made a call to Jeff in 2012 when he came, and I was just like, "Hey man, you're leaving. You've been a mentor of mine, so tell me what's going on." And they talked about the club in general, revitalizing the club and all the things that they were doing. And I kind of just said, "Hey, I'm from North Carolina, and if you want to, if you need somebody to come work with you, I'd love to be there." So it was just kind of one of those, like, congratulating him, and just kind of left that little mark. And they called me in the spring of 2013 and was like, "Hey, we want you to come interview for the director of golf job." And so felt like that phone call probably, kind of laid a little seed in me, in them. And so so I came right before the back-to-back opens in 14, and the rest is history. I've just finished my 7th USGA championship, which is unbelievable to think about, but it's been a wild journey. Certainly wasn't the probably most qualified individual for the job, but kind of right place at the right time. I had been working really hard for Club Corps, and so those guys recognized it, and So yeah, it's been a whirlwind.
I'm sure. Oh my gosh, that just sounds like a lot. Wow. Well, good for you. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
shows you perseverance and staying with, having the great mentorship too, and people you can talk to and reach out to and put out the fires with, yeah, it's pretty strong.
Yeah, it was
Good
pretty
community.
awesome. Yeah, it's we met with through Rich Talk, obviously at Erin Hills, and same thing, right? I've always, as a golf professional by trade, I've always just kind of tried to stay in contact with those individuals that are great people and great mentors, and so. So yeah, that's it's been and now just trying to be that for other people. We've got a lot of golf. We probably have about 40 some golf professionals on staff here.
Wow.
And so just really trying to help them where they need and trying to help them grow and learn. So yeah, I'm in a great spot. It's awesome.
That's great. That was going to be one of my questions, actually. So you have 10 courses here.
We do.
10 18-hole courses. Then you have the putting course. Then you have the cradle. So we'll just call it 12. It's basically
Yes.
12. So you have 40 golf professionals. And just for my own curiosity, what is the operating structure there? Like head pros at each club and then...
We do. So I was director of golf from 2013 to 2023. Matt Barksdale was kind of my resort head professional. He's since been promoted to director of golf. I'm the general manager of the club. But Matt kind of we've got PGA Academy, right? So Eric Alpenfeld's top 100 instructor who's been here for 35 plus years, and he's got a team that does all of our junior academy stuff and all of our golf academy. So we've got he also manages basically the Don Pageant Learning Center. So we do fittings, club fittings, private instruction, and things like that. And then each facility has, so 7-9's a little unique. It's our top tier membership that has one head professional. And then 6, 8 has their own, and then basically 1 through 5. And then our new golf course, number 10 at Sand Mines, has a golf professional in Tyler Yancey. So we got it's amazing to think about the amount of talent that we've got. We obviously have a young team, but it's Matt has done a great job of kind of putting it all together. From our golf professional side, like our membership side, we've got a head professional there. So, the challenge or the opportunity is we've got the resort and we've got the club. So we've got so many golf professionals, but we've got a dedicated professional just for the membership. And then so you've got a resort head professional, which is 1 through 5. So those two individuals kind of work to operate this facility right here that we're at 1 through 5 in the cradle. So it's an interesting makeup, right? So we're probably different than most facilities, just from just being large, and then also I don't want to say difficult, but there's just so many factors, right? So we do a lot of. We've got 4 hotels, so we've got folks that come in and travel to play at Pinehurst, and then we've got a membership that's here, and so we allocate tee times for those individuals, and so the members are here year round. They get to enjoy this place year round, and then we've got our leisure guests and groups that come in just for a weekend or a week, whatnot. Wow. So yeah,
a nice mixture.
It's great. Yeah, it's great. So I kind of the one that juggles most of that between Matt and myself, and so it's not always easy. The membership, obviously wants to be here all the time, and but we try to do well at getting them to tee times on Pinehurst number 2 and number 4. So
yeah, of course, number 2 and 4, of course, and 10, right?
2, 4, 8, 10.
Yeah.
So right now, number 10's open as a resort course, just because we opened it in April of this year, and so we're looking to build an 11th golf course as well out there at the Sandmine property. So
wow.
So we're just trying to figure out how to operate that as a whole. It's a little different. So our members get access to 9 golf courses in the cradle. And so if they're a golf member, they get to play the cradle for free kind of whenever. It's 24 hours out, but we've done a good job of getting them tee times. So
wow. Well, all of that, I just had all these questions. I just went off in all different directions. So what is something that your membership would say makes Pinehurst special? Since they're members, they're here all the time. What's the one thing you think they would say, wow, this is why I'm a member here?
There's so many different things. So I'll probably do more than one. So right now you're here, we're hosting our own North-South Championship. So the men and women are playing right now on Pinehurst number 2 and Pinehurst number 8. So we've got kind of a big contingent of golf junkies, so to speak. I mean, the members that are here, they love being here, and so they volunteer. They're big rules folks, so they just want to be part of. We had 4,000 volunteers for the U.S. Open, and our members played 25% of that. So I mean, it was almost 1,000. Member volunteers, and then they're right back at it right now. So they're out there doing, whether they're officiating, they're just on the golf course, helping us set up our own championship. So the North-South is the longest running consecutive amateur championship in the country, and so very proud of that. They're getting to play Pinehurst number 2 right after the U.S. Open, which is so cool. So our members just really love golf, and they love being here. It's great to hear so many stories. With it being, we got 5,300 members. So there's probably about 8,000, 9,000 people with kids and spouses and things.
Wow.
But they each have their own unique story, right? So whether they some people came to a golf academy and then bought a house after that. Some people over at number 9, they have the kind of a cottages membership, which is like a fractional ownership. So they come over and stay 4 weeks a year, and then they end up buying homes.
Wow.
They come volunteer for the 1999 U.S. Open, and then they just say, "Hey, we fell in love with our little village," and so there's so many different stories. I mean, you've got like Frankie Sapin, who won our 4-ball with Ben Wong, and so he played in the U.S. Open last week, but he also played in the U.S. Kids Championships, which we host in a couple weeks. So. And, it's cool to hear members tell those stories about how they met someone or they hosted someone. Peggy and Bill Poole over at number 9, they hosted Luke Clanton, who just played in the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
He won our North-South Championship a couple years back. So,
wow.
So there's just so many things. And I think you were here for a couple of days, and you'll kind of see it's a quaint little village, but it's just such a meaningful place.
Definitely. You can feel something in the air that there's so much history here, and yeah, it's definitely, you can feel it when you're driving it.
For sure.
So I'm going to rewind to the 11th course that you guys are going to work on. So we know in the history of Pinehurst, 5,800 acres was first purchased for $1 an acre, by the way. So how many acres does the whole resort sit on now?
Oh man, that's a tough question for me because I'm not great at it. But so the property at Sand Mines is somewhere around 1,000 acres.
Okay.
So the old pit property. And then there was a tract of land called the Robert Trent Jones property. So we've owned that since, they were going to build that in 2001 when the planes hit the towers. They were planning on building that as our 9th golf course. And so it just kind of, things have changed a little bit, obviously, over the years. We purchased number 9 right before 2014 U.S. Open. I mean, really closed on it like mid-May, which is crazy to think about. But, so I don't know the total acreage of the property. I'd be taking a wild guess and I'd be wrong.
Okay.
But that new property is going to be awesome. I don't think we really released who's, some people probably know in regards to the next golf course, but we've got a great designer. Tom Doak did number 10. They're planning on doing some, to unleash who's going to do that next one. And then there's also going to be a little par 3 out there as well. So lots of upcoming things for Pinehurst. That's something that we kind of pride ourselves in. So we did the Pinehurst Brewing Company, which is in the village. It powered the village in 1895 as a steam plant. We renovated number 4, added the cradle, restored number 2. We've renovated, basically, we call it the main stack of the Carolina Hotel, which is kind of the main property. And then there's an east wing, the Manor Hotel, number 10. So this will do. I mean, it's something every couple of years. And then our next USGA championship is the 2027 Women's Amateur.
Yes.
So there's always kind of something to keep people coming back. Like you said, you can kind of feel when I came in 2013, it certainly was still a great place. We kind of focused a lot on our history and all the things that we had done in the past. But we've really tried to keep one eye on that and then kind of head into the future of golf and trying to figure out what's best for us. During COVID, Riggs was here for 100 days from Barstool Sports. And I think that kind of opened up just the world of golf in general to the younger generation. And so, we kind of got that little marketing bump every day when Riggs was out here on number 4, number 2. And so people got a chance to really see what this place was all about from his view. So that's been a great little bump for us as well.
Okay. So in terms of destination golf, would you, maybe in 2013 more so, you would consider this a destination place for, I don't want to say for men, but really when you think of golf, golf travel, golf groups, you think of guys trips.
Sure.
But what are you seeing with the women coming out with their own groups or families even coming out?
So we were very heavily kind of an older school, right? So we were kind of expensive, and then also a little bit, I hate to say stuffy. Stuffy is probably not the right word, but people probably viewed us as that. So with all the new things that we've got happening with the Cradle, the brewery, it became a lot more, I guess hip's probably not the right word. But the golf folks would, they really want to come out and experience it. We started the Lily, and so that was Donna Ross's daughter, and so we basically are having we're having an event for just ladies, right? So we've got so I hired Shannon Scott to be our head professional of many years ago in the main golf shop. And so we've had lots of different golf professionals that are females now, which is awesome. So we do a lot for Women's Golf Day. The Lily, they bring 40 or 50 ladies every day, and they do a Golf Academy Day. They play the Cradle. And so we've kind of become a little bit, certainly more diverse in our clientele. Lots of golf groups that come for pro-ams and stuff. They're bringing ladies, they're bringing families. The Cradle has opened up a new world for us, right? So it's family friendly. Mm-hmm. I remember the first time that I was out there playing the Cradle, and I was like, wow, we really got this right, because you had the ladies out there who maybe have never played golf before, and so you can hit a couple shots and you never really feel rushed. I think that's the big thing for women playing golf is, some of the men don't want them to play, or all the things that are happening that make them feel uncomfortable.
Sure.
Right. The Cradle makes it awesome for them, and they can just go out and play. And then the Lily, they play number 2, right? So
wow.
So it's and number 2 is very playable for the ladies. And so I think just being able to spread the word that we've got female golf professionals, we've got female events, we've got family-friendly events. We added the pool complex for our membership, so it's really changed us and made us a more diverse club that people see. And so, I think it was a little controversial when we built the pool back there. A water slide behind the first tee at number 2.
I can only imagine the controversy of that.
The cool thing about it is some of those same individuals that were kind of saying that wasn't the right move, they get a chance to get out there and enjoy the pool complex with their family and their grandkids and things like that. So, so we've really changed our clientele, and our marketing department does a fantastic job of kind of sharing some of the things. A lot of the folks that were so Abby Liebenthal, who works for the USGA now, she kind of started the Lily. And so they post a lot about, females in golf, and Gabby Weiss, who is now at the Dormy Club, she was our members head professional. Like they were cohorts, and they're talking about what they do and how they do it. And we've got so every Tuesday we do like a ladies' night and wine. We have like almost 100 ladies that play on 2 golf courses.
I love to hear that.
Yeah, so it's cool. So they get a little wine, they play 9 holes, and it's a lot of social, but still we try to make it a little bit competitive, and so they have some fun. And so Gabby, and then also Julia Malman, she works for our members club now. They've done a great job kind of continuing that program, and it's amazing to see the ladies that we can't always do 2 golf courses.
Yeah.
So we kind of have to cut it in half, but when we don't, we hear about it, and those ladies want to play golf, which is awesome.
That is awesome. I have to get back to, let's talk about the U.S. Open.
Okay.
So actually I had this conversation with Rich Talk as well, and so he had talked about what a course would look like post major. So what does number 2 look like now? I actually, driving in, I still saw a lot of the concession stands up and a lot of the grandstands. So
yeah, so it's one of those things where the U.S. Open it's a big production, right? There was 225 to 35,000 people here for the week.
Wow.
So it was a big lead up. So I hosted in 2014. So we did back-to-back men's and women's. Their championship has certainly grown and changed and kind of evolved in on corporate hospitality, on course corporate hospitality, right? So in 2014, for the folks that know Pinehurst, Maniac Hill's our driving range, and basically they did a horseshoe of corporate hospitality out there, little chalets for each of the companies.
Sure.
This time on 18, 15, 16, 17, they have corporate boxes. They did a big thing called the 1895 Club on 18. And so where you parked on course 4, they shuttled you in. It was a huge, so the stand was huge, but you had seats, and then you had this air conditioned corporate hospitality area, and then seats on top of it. So it was amazing to view. But you're right there on 18. You kind of saw it. So it's quite the production, and having all those people on course is certainly a lot different for us, right? So in 2014, we closed number 2 after the round, and we regrassed the greens from bent grass to Bermuda. Oh. Just because it gets so hot and humid here in the summertime, bent grass has a little bit of a challenge growing, but. So a lot of the stands are still up, which is cool, right? So I remember going and playing Harbortown a few years back, and the stands were kind of going up, and so it kind of gives you a sense of like, hey, I'm playing this golf course before an event. It was a tour event for me, but now, and then also North-South Championship this week. So the men and women that are playing out there, they're loving it, right? So the stands are still wrapped with U.S. Open. Some of the players that played in the U.S. Open are playing in the North-South Championship from the men's perspective. Wow. So it's pretty cool. Like one of our marketing department was walking out there and talking to one of the players, and was like, hey, how was it playing in the U.S. Open now compared to an amateur event and things like that. So. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that's still on the golf course. I think for us, there were certain things, like course 4 just reopened today. And so we built a big members tent, air conditioned tent with a viewing platform on 13. And so our members got a chance to enjoy that. So we had different things of tear down first, right? We also host a concert that we host in Jameson Rogers on July 3rd, which is on our lower croquet court. So we had to kind of go through and say, hey, we need to get course 4 back open. The 18th hole of course 1, if those of the folks that were here, was literally a village. So the main gate was right through there. And so we built this huge entryway. We paved almost the whole fairway.
Wow.
So people could kind of walk in. I say we, the USGA did, but working together to kind of build that. And so, yeah, there's still a lot of work to be done out there. But it came down pretty quick in the areas that we needed it to. Like I said, course 4 is opening back up today, which is great. So they had the NBC compound was on hole 8, number 9. We parked cars on 17. So so it was
it took a bit of a beating.
There's a lot. It took course 4 and course 1 probably took a little bit of a beating. But course 2 is in really good shape.
Sure.
And, it's one of those things where we feel like we could probably, it's some places you got to raise the grass, right? So we've just got wiregrass out there. So we planted a lot of plants last January and kind of getting it ready for the Open. And we brought the rope lines in a little bit so we could get the spectators closer to the golf. But yeah, we're in pretty good shape to have hosted the U.S. Open. If you go out on 18 today, you can kind of see the remnants of the 1895 club. But I think most of the players that are playing it now are really enjoying it because it's cool to have played where Bryson and Rory just played, right? So they just fought it out on the back 9 for the championship.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, what a segue. We're going to talk about Rory and Bryson for a quick moment here. I mean, congratulations to Bryson, of course. I'm a fan. I like kind of the odd guy. Bryson's a little odd, and I love it,
Yeah. So Bryson's, he was kind of, look, both of them would have been great champions for us, right?
Yes.
So I think that was one of the things that we knew in 2024 that we just wanted a big name champion. And so to have that finish on the back 9 was tremendous for us. It was crazy. You could really feel the excitement. So I was out on 13 kind of watching them drive the green and then just seeing them go by there. And you could just really feel it. It was so cool. I kind of get goosebumps. But, Bryson being an SMU guy, right? So Mr. Dedman and his family are out of Dallas. And so, I think for us, again, Rory would have been an amazing champion. And you hear a lot about like the putt that he missed on 18. I can promise you I've missed that putt. Not that I'm at Rory's level, but it's a lot of it's not as easy as people think. You know, and I'm sure he was crushed. You know, he wanted to win another major championship. He's worked really hard. His game's been good for the last few years.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think, you know, Bryson hit one heck of a shot on 18. Out of the bunker there, you get that up and down very, very, I mean, probably 1 out of every 50 times would you get that up and down.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
just you think about it. If you have to hit a 55-yard bunker shot into a back right pin, if you miss it right, it goes in the bunker. If you hit it short, you've got a 25-footer up the hill. You know, it's normally the deuce is behind 18, right? So it's hospitality during the week. But, you know, a lot of our amateur players hit that ball and they scull it across the green into our restaurant. So, yeah, I mean, we're all probably we're out there on the green on 18 or around the green, getting ready to see who's going to win. And we're like, oh man, we're going to have a playoff. I mean, so that's kind of where our heads were at when he hits that, before he hit that shot. And to hit it to hit it inside of 3 feet.
Yeah.
That's just, it was unbelievable. So, you know, some people will say Rory lost the event, and I'm sure he probably will always remember that he did.
Yeah.
But Bryson really hit a heck of a shot there on 18 to kind of cap it off, and you could kind of see his adrenaline rush when he made that putt. It was awesome for him. And
Oh, yeah.
like I said, he's friends with Mr. Dedman, and so that connection was probably for us. We got a great champion. So, and Bryson, yeah, he's a little strange, but he's cool. He's kind of one of those junkies of the game, right? So he's always trying to get better. He's trying to figure out a way to outthink you, outwork you. I mean, he's changed his body where he was hitting long drives, you know, getting back into fit. But I mean, you know, those guys are driving the ball so far. Well, I was fortunate enough. We played on the Monday after, you know, they played the golf course all the way back. And I can remember in 2014, I don't know that they played it that far back.
Oh, wow.
So it was certainly a heck of a challenge for them. And I mean, for both those guys to be playing that well in that environment was awesome. So something that'll be talked about forever.
Very cool. And we wish Rory luck, of course, taking a little bit of a break. He's going to reemerge for the Open. What are your thoughts on Lexi retiring?
Well, I think at first I was a little disappointed and sad, right?
Yeah.
So Lexi Thompson's obviously been a force in women's golf for such a long time, and she's still young. And you know, I think, you know, she kind of lost that U.S. Open at Olympic Club, and so, you know, I'm sure that was probably one of those things. But she's been a great champion for women's golf for such a long time, and I'm sure she's been playing since she was 13 years old. So I'm sure that's been a lot of pressure. People think that the golf pro or the traveling professional life is a great one. I'm not sure living out of your bag every week is. I mean, you know, yeah, it's great when you win, but when you don't win, you know, how do you have animals? How do you have a family? I mean, there's just so many things that you really don't, we take for granted, right? We just say, oh gosh, look at the money and look at all the things that they've done. So the pressure on Lexi for all these years has probably been tremendous, and I'm sure it's probably a little bit of a weight lifted off her shoulders. But, you know, some of the great women's golfers, Lorena Ochoa, I mean, Annika could have played for 5 more years, right? So,
Yep.
I'm sure they're ready, right? So they're ready to retire, ready to do something different. You know, I'd love to see Lexi compete, you know, once every so often. That would be cool for us to, you know, look, I'm a golf fan just like you are. And so I think, you know, I love seeing those the greats of the game, so to speak, whether it's the male or female, come back and play. So I was just read something this morning, you know, they were talking about Tiger Woods playing in the senior, which I think years ago, before all of his the accidents and the things that he's gone through, I would say he probably wouldn't have played.
Yeah.
And so, you know, but to see someone like Tiger, Tiger really moves the needle. I mean, he was here for us, which was great. He received the Bob Jones Award from the USGA, which was awesome. But yeah, so I mean, we obviously wish Lexi all the best. I'd love to see her win a major before she goes, but it doesn't. I think she's got one more chance, right?
One more chance. I'd like to see her out at the Solheim Cup, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I'll be out there in Virginia as well. So, yeah, we're wishing her the best, of course.
Yeah,
we are
absolutely.
seeing the ladies retiring a little bit earlier than the men, but
Yeah.
for so many factors, I'm sure.
Sure.
But Okay. Well, thank you so much for your
absolutely. Thanks
time.
for
I
having
really
me.
enjoyed being here with
me
you
too.
and
Yeah.
learning more about Pinehurst, hearing about the U.S. Open, and getting to know you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Ashley. We're glad you're here. We're going to get you out on the golf course today somewhere.
Yes. I'm so excited. All right, guys, stay tuned, and we're going to hit the road on to Knoxville. So stay tuned. Thanks, guys.